Well-being of mothers, child and infant is an important public health goals because their well-being determines the health of the future generation, and it can also predict the problems or challenges that public health will face for families, for communities and healthcare systems. So today we are looking at the topic improving maternal, newborn and child health in Anambra State. And we have with us in the studio this morning Dr. Chioma Ezenyimulu. She is the Executive Secretary and CEO, Anambra Primary Health Care Development Agency. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We also have Uzamaka Eriken. She's a State Nutrition Officer. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Of course, talking about this maternal, newborn and child health in Anambra State, we know that this care is all about mothers and children. Now, the question we would like to start with this morning is to tell us the services or the kind of care that are being rendered to this set of people.
Thank you very much. Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week, popularly called MNCH Week, is a biannual event. We hold it.
Talking about the week.
Okay.
You're talking about the care. That's the maternal.
All right.
And yes.
So at the week, the care available at the health facilities are, you have for the pregnant women, we have iron supplementation. They are going to be given folic acid for their antenatal care, and also for the children under 5, they will be given deworming tablets because we do this twice a year, and they will also be given vitamin A. As you are aware, vitamin A is very essential for the immunity in the child. Prevents a lot of infections, especially eye infections and other infections. Then, of course, we are going to have other activities. There's going to be counseling on family planning, on of course there's going to be immunization. The regular antigens we give, we use the opportunity to give these services. And of course we are also going to go beyond the primary health centers. We are going to visit schools, wherever children are found, to make sure we give them this very important and life-saving commodities.
All right, these services or these commodities that you now mentioned, is this only done during this week, or is it something that is continuous rather?
Okay, so these commodities are available in the primary health care centers, but for this week, they are going to be given free of charge.
Okay.
That is why we are creating awareness, so that women can go with their children. They should take along their vitamin A cards and their immunization cards to get those children immunized. Let them get the vitamin A supplementation. They will also get deworming tablets. We do this twice a year. Of course, pregnant women should also take the opportunity. We are giving the fesolate tablets free of charge, folic acid, all for the proper growth of the baby. So this week, the items will be given free of charge.
All right, let's come over to you, Uzamaka. Now, let's hear from you the importance of this week. Of course, we know that health is paramount, but then we are focusing on the children and the mothers. Now, what is the importance of this week? And let's also look at some of the challenges that pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers face.
Okay. The importance, why this week was actually created, was long ago it was discovered that the death rate of mothers and children were very high. And the only way of curbing it is to bring a week where it's compulsory that all mothers and children come to take these services free of charge. And then it will be given, once it's given as a campaign, everybody, the more number of people receive it. But if you leave them to come on their own, they may just relax, because most times pregnant women don't like taking drugs. They say it smells. And even pregnant and then breastfeeding mothers, they'll say to ask them to breastfeed now, how can they be walking around the child and all that? You know, but once it's, one, it is free of charge, and two, there's a provision that there's a place they'll come and collect it that will be suitable closest to their homes. You understand? They'll come and pick it up and go for that week. Enough, at least for a month, they will take it for 1 month to help in the proper development of the child in the womb, and also the suckling child, you know. And also, you know, vitamin A aids brain development. So we also give them so that the child in the womb will not the child in the suckling child will take it and enjoy it, and the brain that's there's a level of development that goes on in utero, and once the child is born, it completes when the mother continues with the inception of these interventions.
All right, this event have been on for the past 10 years. It started in the year 2010, rather. And Anambra State have been actively involved in the activities because it's a nationwide stuff, right? Now, I want us to look at the improvement or what we have benefited as a state joining the national body to celebrate this week.
So the advantages have been very tremendous and very good for our indices. We have very good indices in Anambra State pertaining to maternal and child mortality. So by doing this week twice a year, we have always fortified our populace, and we have given herd immunity, because when you give your vaccinations as and when due, you have what we call herd immunity. The people in that locality, the children, they are all immunized, they are healthy. So this is something. Even we are going to have a World Breastfeeding Week. Today is 1st of August. So this week is World Breastfeeding Week. And we are also going to have the week, you know, some activities lined up for the week. So it's going to be a very busy week for us, because this MNCH week is starting off tomorrow. There will be a flag-off ceremony at PHC Akweze in Okorocha local government area. And His Excellency, Mr. Governor, Professor Charles Soludo, and the wife will be there to flag off the event. And of course, you will unveil the brand new TC chairman of Okorocha. And then 2 days later, we are also going to have the flag-off ceremony for the World Breastfeeding Week. This will take place at PHC Amobia, you know, MCH Amobia. So it's going to be a very busy week and a very purposeful week for the benefit of the woman and the child in Anambra State.
All right. Let's also come to you. As a nutritionist, we want to look at the role of nutrition in prevention of maternal and newborn death, because these are the things we are trying to prevent. By organizing this kind of event, we are trying to see how we can help the pregnant women, the breastfeeding mothers, and also the children.
Okay. The indices in Anambra State for stunting, the stunting rate is, Anambra has the least of 14%. Same with the wasting and malnutrition indices. You know, micronutrient indices, lack of it. Anambra, that is why you don't see many agencies coming here, because they say Anambra is doing well, they know how to do everything, you know. So that is because we take it on ourselves to teach our mothers, you know. We talked about counseling. We counsel our mothers, teach them how best to feed during and after pregnancy, so that they will be well and their children also will be well. And we thank God that our mothers are taking what they are being taught. They are practicing it, and they are seeing the benefits, and they're doing it. In fact, they may even turn out better nutritionists than us that read it in school, you know. So that has been helping Anambra State a lot. And so I believe that the more we do it, the more the younger generations that are coming up will get to know about it, and not depend wholly on social media, but on practicing what they have been taught, and carrying it out, they will be better.
All right, Chama, let's come back to you now. Let's look at, you've told us about the unveiling of the event that is coming up tomorrow, that's Tuesday, and then the other one. Now, who are we expected to be there?
Okay.
And what are the activities lined up for the week?
Okay, so for tomorrow's event, we have invited Mr. Governor and our First Lady, and we have also invited the state functionaries, you understand, like the SSG, the Chief of Staff, the Head of Service, and we have also invited the Royal Fathers, the women groups, the the local government, the functionaries, the TC chairman and his team, and we have also invited the media, the religious, organizations, and of course the political parties and whatever. So it's going to be a beehive of activity. So that is for the flag off. So we actually started yesterday. Any woman can walk into the health facility and receive these life-changing commodities. And we advise you go with some children, caregivers. It mustn't be your own. You can take some kids along so that they can all receive the deworming tablets. They can also receive the immunizations according to their schedule. They have to come with their card. And of course, the vitamin A. And, they can also get other services. Like I say, women are free to come in for family planning counseling. They can come in for breastfeeding counseling, because we are going to do food demonstration. We teach the women how to make nutritious food, what you add, even the pap you use in supplementary feeding, complementary feeding, it can be enriched. And how do you enrich it? We have our local substitutes. You can add a little bit of crayfish, a little bit of palm oil to the pap you're giving the child. That way it becomes a balanced diet. So these are things we are teaching, how to make, different kinds of food for the kids. The way kids love it. You imbibe using vegetables, fruits, carrots. They are colorful. So kids love such thing in their foods. So we are demonstrating even that Indomie that you prepare, noodles, whatever, noodles.
Yes.
You mustn't just do the noodles. There are ways of enriching the noodles to make it very nutritious. You cut your carrots, you cut your green pepper, you can add some egg and something to make it more nutritious. We don't really like the noodles age, but there's nothing we can do about it, because even the kids love the noodles. So we now enrich it to make it very nutritious.
Now you've talked about noodles. I like it. So am I invited for the event?
Please, you are invited to the
event. Okay. Now, this is not actually the first time this is happening in Anambra State. It has happened in the previous administration, and it happens twice a year, right? Now, so we want to look at the success story so far. This week-long activities in Anambra State.
Wow. Success story. The women will not spend money this week. So their pockets will be enlarged with that kind of money. And then interventions are given to them at their doorstep. And then their kids are healthier. Those are because now you have not elongated their lives. And we now know that they are going to stay longer than they would have if they hadn't taken it. So those are the advantages. Then it will, in the long run, Anambra will be a better Anambra, because children that have been supplemented with micronutrients and interventions are the ones that are going to take charge in the future. What happens? Anambra will be greater. Then our economy will be fat. our GDP will grow. So those are the advantages.
Any disadvantages, challenges, bottlenecks?
Yeah. You can only take the brook to the stream. You can't force it to drink. That is one disadvantage. We don't force people to take those interventions. We allow them to make a decision on their own. That's one disadvantage. And secondly, we have hard to reach areas. And this season is a rainy season. It just showered this morning, So those are the kind of things that will stop people from getting out to get their own share of the Anambra cake. Also, the insecurity, the challenges. Even as we were distributing, we had gunshots, we ran. Yes, because they don't know who we are and we don't know who they are. So nobody is secured anymore. So the insecurity is really bringing down. That is one of the problems we also have. So those people living in that area are not free, kind of, to get it unless they step out of that area. And only when they step out will they get it. So those are principally the problems we have.
All right, Dr. Chairman, let's come back to you. She made mention of people being afraid. You can just only take a horse to the river, but you cannot force them to take water there. Now, how do we break that barrier? How do we sensitize people or create that awareness that, hey, we are here for your own good, not just to do... Because I remember there was a time we have the military intervention. A lot of people say a whole lot in Anambra State about that. So how do we create that awareness to let people know that we are here for you, for your good and to the good of the children?
So it's all about sensitization, education. It is only with the proper information that you can dispel the rumors. It's happened during the COVID-19 vaccination. Initially, people had all sorts of rumors. But you can see that today we are all vaccinated. We have taken our first dose, second dose, booster dose. And we are all here and we are better for it. Because even subsequently, the infection continues. But you hardly hear about it here. I just watched CNN. They said President Biden has a COVID-19, tested positive. But we here, we don't even have any such thing anymore. So it's all about education, education, education. We engage the town criers. They are called town announcers. We engage them in the wards. They go and spread the news, what is happening. And it's still part of what we are doing today. Public enlightenment. We engage the church. We do church announcements. Look at what we want to do. Look at the value it's going to add. So it's all about sensitizing people. We do a lot of press briefing. We call the media. We call the different groups, wherever they are, the religious groups, the women groups, the youth groups, the ASATU. That is how we send letters to them. Let them know what we want to do and the benefits. So it's all about enlightenment, and people will turn up.
People will turn up, hopefully.
Yes,
now,
definitely.
It is starting, it has already started, right?
Yes, it started yesterday, being the 31st, and it's going to run to the 5th. In fact, there is something that is going to culminate the week. At the end of that week, being the 7th of August, we are going to roll out the insecticide-treated bed nets against malaria. All this while, we have been doing the trainings and all that. So the actual rollout is going to start on Sunday. Everybody is rest assured. So far, your household resides in Anambra State. You will be given between 2 and 4 nets, depending on the size
and that's free
of the
charge.
Family, free of charge.
Wow.
That is being provided by the Malaria Consortium and the federal government Malaria Elimination Program, of course in partnership with Anambra State Ministry of Health and partners. So our commissioner has worked very hard for this to be a reality. I'm talking about Dr. Afam Obidike.
All right, we'll still continue with our discussion right here in the studio, but we want to get people's opinion on what we are discussing today, improving maternal, newborn and child health in Anambra State. Let's hear what they have to say.
It's by giving them the basic education. In fact, the general populace and the government need to start sensitization on how women can help themselves in this difficult time. For instance, many has gone towards a custard, but pap is far much better and nutrition. So it has more nutrition than custard. When a woman takes paps very well, it makes the breast milk to pump very well. And we have bitter leaf around us. So many of them do not know that bitter leaf contains some aspects of protein that helps the breast milk to flow very well. And bitter leaf, you must not cook it the traditional way we do it. There is the one that you just wash the bitter leaf and just add few things to it, and you find out that you can still use it and eat sauce, maybe with yam, or if you do not have a soup, you can at least lick it. People don't know that licking soup can help them. Understand? Right now, we are in the season of vegetables. So I think they should go on, get vegetable, okra, ugu. It's far much cheaper now. You must not eat meat at the time it is. But at the same time, you get things that help to build your blood and immune.
Government has much role to play here. At least to curb the maternal deaths, they should provide free medical care to mother from antenatal to 2 years after birth. In Uzama, for instance, where I work, some parents, some pregnant mothers, they shy away from going there. They will tell you that the money is much, it's expensive to attend. Then during the process, they will still teach them to buy mosquito nets. The government is supposed to provide that one for them.
After the first week or the first day after the birth of the child, the woman is supposed to breastfeed the baby. The first thing that she's going to give her from her breast is called colostrum, which is a greenish substance for the immunity of the baby. And after that, the woman is supposed to be eating healthy food so that she can be able to breastfeed the baby. And then I believe 3 months of exclusive breastfeeding is going to be good for the child. And then taking care of the, let's say the breastfeeding mother, she has to keep her nipples clean so that she cannot infect the baby. Because if the nipples that the baby suck is not clean, it can transmit germs or bacteria to the baby, which can lead to infection or disease to the baby.
By the main looking of things and the condition of Nigeria now, I think it's the best way for government to support them financially, sponsoring them on their needs. The cost of milk this time, provision is in a high cost. So I'm suggesting that government, federal, not only state, federal should support them financially.
Welcome back to the show. If you listen, you notice that a lot of people were hammering on nutrition. And then again, because you are the nutritionist in the house, so I would like to ask you the first question concerning nutrition. Now, what is the appropriate meal, or what kind of food should a pregnant woman and then a nursing mother take to improve the health and also that of the baby?
Okay. A pregnant woman should take an extra meal. We usually have breakfast, lunch, supper.
All right, before you go ahead, let's know who is here. Hello, good morning. Good morning. All right, go ahead.
Okay, a pregnant woman should have an extra meal.
Go ahead.
An extra meal daily. And each meal should contain what we call adequate diet. That is, enough nutrients, the complete nutrients in their correct quantity. And an example, moi moi, for instance, with pap, okay? Moi moi is beans, carbohydrates and proteins. Then oil is there to give you the micronutrients. Then the crayfish is there, the onions is there. You give them too, the proteins and micronutrients. And then of course it's mixed with water, cooked with water as a pudding. Then water is already there. Then the pap, whether it is made from dawa or it is made from corn or joro, whichever, it is rich in protein, it is on its own adequate, the pap. Then if the pregnant woman, then they will add an additional milk, whether it is soya milk or cow milk, it's okay. Either of them makes the food balanced. This food now that is for the pregnant woman is also good for the nursing mothers. We encourage nursing mothers to eat foods that will help the breast milk flow. Why do we say that? More of liquid foods will increase the volume, not the quality. It will increase the volume of the breast milk, so that you will not say that the child doesn't have enough milk to it. Ordinary water, fluids, fruits that have fluids, take fruits, watermelon, orange, but not taking them too much. A stick of banana is okay. You know, now we have corn. You take corn, maize with 2 pears. You know that our black ube. It's okay. In fact, it's even enough food for any person at a particular time. Taking more than that is in excess. You understand? So that is what a pregnant woman and a nursing mother should take. Then we are saying little quantity. You don't overload yourself. The woman is already pregnant and she's heavy. Any little thing she feels heavier than normal. So it's a little quantity at a time. Being conscious as not to add extra weight for the baby, because the more you eat, the heavier the baby gets and the heavier you get. So being conscious that you're not to eat too much of carbohydrates because it will make you dull, but mix it up with fruits and vegetables. Exactly.
Diet,
exactly.
Carbohydrate, protein, fiber, and all that.
Yeah, okay? And spread it out throughout the day. Make it separate, make it different. So your taste bud will not say, I ate this in the morning and I'm eating it again. And then the next thing you're bored and you say, no, you don't want to take it. And we also encourage the routine drugs that are to improve your blood quality and quantity. Folic acid for the development of the child's brain, you know, and then iodine. So all those, then calcium as well, calcium drugs for the bones of the mother and the bones. Therefore, you should eat foods that, we advise fish, though fish is now expensive. So no matter how, fish. Then bones, you boil the bone
for calcium.
Okay. And take the water. You know, use it to prepare soup or stock for other things, stews.
All right. Somebody talked about government support. And she said about the government giving financial support, but I know that government cannot do that all. But then, how has the government been supportive to the pregnant, the nursing mothers and children in Anambra State? Let's start from there.
Yes, government has been very supportive. In fact, charity begins at home. That is why we thank Mr. Governor, because he made the funds available. He approved the funds that we were able to, procure these commodities, the albendazole, the fesolate, the iron tablets, as well as other things that, we are doing for the week. The flag off ceremony, the sensitization, and other things we need to do. Even down to, little commodities we use. Vitamin A, the scissors we use in cutting it open and all that. Everything that we are using for this week was provided by the government. Mr. Governor approved it. So we really thank him for having health as priority. And of course, some of our partners supported us, UNICEF and the rest.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning. I'm calling from JP.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm calling from JP.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I did not want to ask I don't know kind of food that pregnant women and people with their system.
Please speak louder. Let's hear what you're saying. You need to change your location and call us back, please. So you talked about partners.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had some partners support, like UNICEF, They came in some areas like supervision, independent monitors who will go into the field and really observe what is going on and make sure that it's really going on very well. So we appreciate such support. So the team have arrived from Abuja and they are going to be in the field to make sure that things are going accordingly. And so we appreciate every support. Yes, somebody said a government should. Yes, for instance, this vitamin A, for instance, we are giving to our children under 5. This will boost their immunity. That way, they are not going to fall sick. Of course, they are going to get this net again that they're going to sleep under. So when you eliminate, for instance, malaria from, because when a child is sick, you have to buy the drugs, pay for hospital admission if there is need. There's absenteeism from school. There's a lot of things, a chain reaction, when a child is sick. So when you have prevented illnesses, then the family can deploy that scarce resources to other, other needs of the child. You can get more food for the family, buy more meat for the family. You don't need to use the little you have to be buying drugs. So government is making sure that it's providing for its citizens.
Hello, good morning. Okay, if you want to contribute this morning, just look at the screen and say the phone numbers there. Call the phone numbers and we attend to the call. We are still talking about improving maternal, newborn and child health in Anambra State. All right, it's a week-long activity and it has already started in Anambra State, no doubt. And we know that people, the turnout has been massive though. But then we talked about the flag off that will come up tomorrow and all that. And we've established the people that we are expecting to be there. Now, the question is, after this week-long activities, all those commodities that are given out for free, will it still remain like that? Is this just for this week?
Okay, so then again, there are many opportunities presently in Anambra State. For instance, we are the recipients of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. This fund is contained in the National Health Act of 2014, and this provides that 1% of consolidated revenue of the Federation should go to primary health care. And Anambra State was able to access this fund because we have functional primary health care development agency and functional health insurance agency. So we have some indigenes, who are registered under the Anambra State Health Insurance Scheme. So with this scheme, if it's under Basic Health, they are treated free. And Basic Health is working with 1 PHC per ward. So every ward, political ward, has 1 functional PHC. So some members of the community, at least 90 persons, even now Asia has increased it to about 100 persons, 110. They are registered in that facility and they receive drugs free of charge. So that is another avenue that the population can explore to be part of, the enrollees that are using this facility.
That is registering with ASHA.
Yes, okay. And, taking advantage. So that is another way that people receive free services, okay, even at the PHC. So this is what people should be aware, what is going on. Under Basic Health, we have been able to, upgrade our facilities. A lot of them didn't have functional equipment, even things like drug cupboards, where they store their cupboards. Under Basic Health, we have been able to buy generators for each facility so that when you get there at night, there's light. They have been able to buy their fire extinguisher, their facility phone, because a lot of things now we are sending real-time online with the ODK. So they all have their facility phone. We have been able to engage 60 midwives, okay, from the Basic Health to support the health workforce, and their salaries are being paid monthly. So this is an avenue again where the government has provided now at the federal level.
So in other words, the BHCPF is still coming.
It's still on. The funds are domiciled in our CBN account, and these funds move directly from the CBN account through remitter directly to the facilities. And when you go to the facilities, it is the Ward Development Committee chairman and the OIC, two of them, are signatories to the account. So any Ward Development Committee chairman that is saying he doesn't know what they are doing, because each facility has a work plan, what they want to use their money for. Some of them want to build their placenta pit, some want to repair their roof. Their needs are different. Some want to buy bed, some want to buy delivery bed. So it is two of them, the Ward Development Chairman, WDC, and the OIC, that will sign the money. It's a commercial bank. So two of them are signatories. They will agree with the other members of the committee what they want to use these funds that are coming quarterly to do. So nobody can say, I don't know what it is being done. Because without your signature, you cannot withdraw the money. So that is what we are very happy, that all the wards are assessing their funds and they have the work plan, what they are going by. Like I said, these funds are domiciled in our CBN account, and we use it, they give us the approval quarterly. And that is how we are disbursing the funds. You understand? They give us the approval and we disburse it. From 2000, we have received over 801 million in the CBN account. It's not in our agency account. And we have been drawing from there. Right now, we have over 455 million in that account, but it is only for periodic withdrawals, and like I said, the funds flow directly to the facilities and they use it for what they want to do. It's a very transparent process.
Oh, so that's quite impressive.
We are also very happy that we are getting government support.
Okay, so government has actually been so supportive when it comes to the health sector. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. But before we go, any word for the listeners today, especially the mothers?
I want to plead with mothers like myself. Go and assess this very important, all-important interventions that are going to be given to you free of charge this week in all the facilities in all the 330 wards in Anambra State. Make sure you go with your vitamin A cards as well as your immunization cards so that nothing hinders it. Because, after this, at the end, from 7th, you're going to get mosquito nets. It will now be, that you don't have nets, it will now be a history, So I plead with them, honestly, mothers like myself, please do that. And whenever you have issues with nutrition, call our office. We'll give you the right information, because whatever has gone viral in the internet usually is sometimes it's blown up beyond imagination. Therefore, you go to the right source and get the correct information and now practice it. There's nothing like practicing what you have learned, because once you practice what you have learned, it becomes a part of you and you now pass it on down to the next generation. Let us eat good food. Let us not go be going for awarawa, pepper, awarawa, tomato, awarawa, onions, and all the awarawas, because things are bad. But once you get quality, anything, tomatoes, no matter the quantity, you put onions, your pepper. We also have vitamins in pepper. That's why it's red, you understand? So you get it, grind it, put enough vegetables, boil it together with a little oil, whether it's palm oil or vegetable oil. You have your sauce or stew as you must not fry it. Frying reduces the quantity. So you just boil it you just boil it until it cooks, as though you're boiling your soup. You don't fry it like frying stew.
But it doesn't reduce the quality, right?
It doesn't reduce
just the quantity. Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you so much. And from you, Dr. Chioma. So, Kedifi na Gwandi Anambra.
Ana Gwandi Anambra. Biko, popota no umu uno. Nwunye uno. Umu nwaanyị dị ime. Jebe na health center. Anyị bido nya, bin Sunday. And I ga nolu Sunday na abịanụ. jee na health center ị ga-ewelu ọgwụ fesolate folic acid ichebe onwe gị nwaanyị dị ime inweta ọbala na arụ gị wee chelu mgbe ị ga-amụ nwa ịkpọkwa ụmụ gị ha bịa welu ọgwụ okpo that is deworming tablet we are giving free of charge kpọpụta ụmụ unu ka fa bịa gbaa ọgwụ vitamin A dị mkpa maka immunity nwatakịrị welusia vitamin A then ọma ya arụ gụnwe zukwa n'ike wele ego anwa mee ife ọzọ ọ bụrụ oge niile a na-eje ụlọ ọgwụ bikonu unu pụtanụ elukwa na Sunday ebido ike net onye ọbụla dịkwa sure na enye gị net according to your household. So I'm telling them the Anambra, come out en mass. This week is for you. We are doing Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week. We are also doing World Breastfeeding Week. So it is going to be a very healthy week for the Anambra. Thank you.
I like that. It's going to be a very healthy week for Anambra. And he started on the first day of August. Now, we want to say a very big thank you to both of you, Dr. Choma Ezenyimulu, for joining us on the show this morning. And also to you, Uzamaka Eriken. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Well, the Anambra mothers, you've heard it all from them. All you need to do is to make yourself available to go to any facility that is near you and then be part of this intervention. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. My name is Chedima Oramwa. See you again tomorrow. Bye.